One of the more interesting films around is Crossroads. It stars Ralph Macchio as a gifted young guitarist and Joe Seneca. He portrays an aging blues man. Now, the premise of Crossroads is essentially a young man's search for a song and an old man's search for his soul. First of all, the problems in the film, and there are some. The film appears disjointed. It is a little slow in places, but all the right elements are there. I just think many of them are in the wrong place. The two good reasons to see this movie, though, are one, the performance by Joe Seneca. He is excellent. And two, the music. It's great. Ralph Macchio does a credible job in the film. It is rated R, and I'm giving it, even with the flaws, an 8. The movie called Gung-Ho, I'm sorry to say, is disappointing. Although there are some funny moments, the film appeared sloppy and it is much too long. For this kind of movie to work better, it actually needed to be about 25 minutes shorter. About 3/4 of the way through, the film really begins to drag. The pacing is very slow. But Michael Keaton is funny. He plays an automobile executive, and he is responsible for a Japanese company buying the defunct factory in his hometown and rejuvenating it. Now, the smart-aleck, wise guy kind of roles Michael Keaton has been playing is getting old. But Gung-Ho is rated PG-13. I'm giving it a 6. Don't forget the movies Down and Out in Beverly Hills, Murphy's Romance, The Color Purple, and Out of Africa. Now, as for some of the films opening tomorrow, there's Care Bears 2, A New Generation, Police Academy 3, it's another one, a film called Rad, and the Walt Disney classic, Sleeping Beauty. That's all for tonight. I'll see you next week. I'm Dino Lally. One of the films which opened yesterday is called The Money Pit, and it stars Shelley Long, Tom Hanks, and is directed by Richard Benjamin. This is a contemporary comedy that has some hilarious sight gags in it, much like the ones we've seen in old Harold Lloyd or Buster Keaton movies. While Tom Hanks and Shelley Long and Alexander Goodenough are good, the movie is inconsistent. The premise has Hanks and Long as a young couple buying their first house. Unfortunately, it turns out to be a lemon. The relationship between Hanks and Long, which is the centerpiece of the whole film, is never fully developed. Technically, this is a fun movie. Other than that, it is a little weak, but I'm still giving it a 7, and The Money Pit is rated PG. I'm afraid to admit it, but I did enjoy Police Academy Part 3. Now, I thought Police Academy Part 2 was garbage, but Police Academy Part 3, much like The Money Pit, has some great sight gags in it. The bottom line is it made me laugh, and I want to give Police Academy, which is rated PG-13, I want to give it maybe around a 6. As much as I wanted to like a movie called Rad, I didn't. Technically, it is terrible. Hal Needham from Smokey and Bandit fame did a ridiculously poor job of directing, so I'm giving Rad a 3. For two very good family pictures, don't forget Sleeping Beauty and Care Bears Part 2. Also, Murphy's Romance is a very good movie with one of James Garner's best screen performances yet. And if you like blues music, try to see Crossroads. It stars Ralph Macchio, and it's very entertaining. That's it for now. Have a nice weekend. I'm Dino Lally.
Excellent, Dino.
Everyone loves conversations that start, you know your driveway? I said, oh, no. Your driveway's fine. No problem there. You see, your main drain's under that driveway. It's all going to have to come up.
The Money Pit is about a young couple played by Tom Hanks and Shelley Long who decides to buy a house. They think it's a great bargain, but they are proven wrong.
Little problem in the kitchen, nothing trivial.
And action!
And to take this premise one step further, one can only imagine the problems making this kind of movie. director Richard Benjamin.
As you pick out each shot, no camera can be in any other camera's shot. Yet, you also pick speeds, and you say, well, how fast is this going to fall? If it falls at normal speed, is that too fast? Do I have to use slow motion here? How fast is fast? You know what I mean? You have all these conversations. I don't want to miss it. And when you say, how fast? This, you know? Is that right? Are you sure it's, yeah. Well, what I want is that. Okay, well, you'll have to slow the camera down because he's going to go like that.
Ready?
Hey, camera mark.
It goes, go!
And you can see the final results of Richard Benjamin's directing in The Money Pit, which is being shown in local theaters. I'm Dino Lawley.
If you're going to be buying a house and
The best way to describe Offbeat, one of the films opening this weekend, is to say it's a low-key comedy. I know it doesn't look like it, but Offbeat is cute. Judge Reinhold, you may remember him from Beverly Hills Cop. Well, he portrays a man who impersonates a policeman. He does it for his best friend, who is, of course, a real policeman. And as you might have guessed by now, the impersonation takes a couple of unexpected turns. For instance, Reinhold has to represent his friend's precinct at a dance. Here, in fact, is part of the audition.
The record is 61 jumps in a row. Anybody left standing at the end is in the show. Countdown. 61.
Offbeat provides a couple of low-key, funny moments. The supporting players are good, and Offbeat is rated PG, and I'll give it a 6. Now, I've had people ask me, did you really like Police Academy 3? And I said, no. That's why I said I liked it on the air. Yes, I liked it. It made me laugh. I mentioned before, Police Academy 2 was garbage, but 3 has some good sight gags. It's rated PG-13, and I'll also give it a 6. Now, don't forget the films which won some of the Academy Awards, like Out of Africa. It's beautifully photographed with very impressive performances. And although it didn't win any Academy Awards, which I think is ludicrous, the color purple is packed full of emotion, and I highly recommend it. And I hope you have a nice movie-watching weekend. I'm Dino Lawley.
How wonderful you are.
The story is about what it's like to be an outsider in high school and learning to overcome the obstacles with intelligence and humor. It's also about the joy and pain of being in love with someone who wants only friendship. The 14-year-old Lucas is played very well by Corey Haim. Most of his classmates think of him as a nerd, but they do respect his intelligence. Charlie Sheen, who is one of the popular football players, likes Haim a lot. When a new girl, played by Carrie Green, starts to school, Lucas finds himself in love. The conflict comes when Carrie Green becomes infatuated with Charlie Sheen and vice versa. The love triangle trouble starts when Green tells Lucas she can't go to the dance with him, but instead wants to stay and comfort Charlie Sheen because he recently broke up with his girlfriend.
If you're so depressed, how come you're eating pizza?
Maybe I should just go home, eh?
No. Go eat pizza. Don't let me spoil your depression.
Later, Haim wants to show Carrie Green that he is as good as Charlie Sheen, so he goes out for the football team.
Listen, little buddy, we got our first game this Saturday against Rockford, and I don't have time to stick around with you.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to, sir. Stick around with me. The Supreme Court, by virtue of the Sexual Discrimination Act, says that anyone who tries out for a team sport has to be given the same chance as everyone else. Now, if you wish to cut me based on my performance, that's your right. but I'll take you to court if you try before.
I think you deserve something better.
I agree. In terms of movies, we all deserve something better. Tonight I'm changing this segment's name from Dino's Best Bets to Dino's Mediocre Bets. The films currently in release, I feel, are just average. There's nothing special out there right now. There are exceptions like The Color Purple and Out of Africa. But the rest of the films, I think, are just average. They're just okay. So with that in mind, here are my mediocre bets. For comedy, I can recommend Police Academy 3. The gang is back in this sequel. Their mission this time is to save the Academy itself. Although parts are predictable, some scenes are quite funny, and it's just mindless entertainment.
Sit!
No problem, I'll sit down. Now, Police Academy 3 is rated PG, and I'll give it a 6. For a film called Legend, the 3 stars are the photography, the set designs, and the actor who plays the Lord of Darkness, Tim Curry. Legend is a fantasy adventure about a young hermit played by Tom Cruise, who does battle with Tim Curry to rescue a young princess and free the universe from its curse of icy winter nights. The script is weak, though, and the movie gets off to a very slow start, but Legend is visually very interesting. I also think Legend is a bit too intense for younger children. It is rated PG, and I'll also give it a 6.
You disgust me.
Hey, I call them as I see them. Now, 2 disappointing films are Just Between Friends. It stars Mary Tyler Moore and Ted Danson. The other one is called Violets Are Blue. It stars Kevin Kline and Sissy Spacek. Violets Are Blue is the better of those 2 films. I can highly recommend a film called Lucas, Gung-Ho, and The Money Pit, I think, are just all right. And don't forget Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Hopefully next time I will have some more films I can highly recommend for you. Until then, I guess we'll have to put up with movie mediocrity. I'm Dino Lally. In the film, a futuristic military robot short circuits and comes to life. Steve Guttenberg portrays the scientist who creates the machine called Number 5, and Ally Sheedy plays the young woman who befriends the robot. And so, what was it like to work with the mechanical star?
It was fun. I mean, I just saw him as being alive. He was my Number 5 robot, you know. I didn't think of him as being mechanical.
Short Circuit is a fast-paced picture that's loaded with fun, excitement, and action. It's just an old-fashioned good time and should appeal to audiences both young and old. John Badham, who directed such films as Blue Thunder and War Games, is quite good at keeping an even pace in a picture that deals with mechanical gadgets. Short Circuit will be compared to the film E.T., and while there are some similarities, the films are different. Identified quite clearly are the good guys, they're trying to save Number 5, and of course the bad guys, they want to destroy the robot. I think Short Circuit will be one of the hit movies of the summer. It does have that summer movie mass appeal. There are decent performances, it's entertaining, and doesn't tax the mind. On my rating scale, Short Circuit gets an 8. A movie that's fun for the entire family. It opens tomorrow in local theaters. I'm Dino Lally. I think Top Gun's going to be one of the top hits at the summer box office. It has all the right elements for an action-packed, fast-paced, old-fashioned good time. Top Gun is the term used for the best of the best at the U.S. Navy's Fighter Weapons School. Sure, it's a macho kind of movie, but it is great fun. Tom Cruise plays a pilot by the name of Maverick. He's cocky, but he is good. He also has a reputation for being dangerous while in the air. Overall, the film covers the training sessions which take place at the school. Cruise becomes involved with one of his instructors, well played by Kelly McGillis. Although there is a top-flight cast, the real stars of Top Gun are the photography, aerial flying sequences, all the technical credits. The photography is tremendous, and director Tony Scott has done a very impressive job at keeping everything believable and thrilling. On my rating scale, Top Gun rates a 9. Other than just a few minor flaws, Top Gun is one of those films you will probably want to see more than once. And no matter how many times you see those dogfighting scenes, they will always keep you on the edge of your seat. Top Gun is hot. Also opening tomorrow is Alan Alda's latest film. It's called Sweet Liberty. And I can also recommend very highly a film called Short Circuit. It's a good family film. That's it for now. I'll see you next week. For News 4 Nightcast, I'm Dino Lawley. With lines like this,
"This is where the law stops, and I start."
Or maybe something like this.
I ain't no psycho, man. I'm a hunter.
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Cobra, starring Sylvester Stallone, is bound to be a big hit at the box office. Sure, the character of Cobra is nothing more but Rambo with a badge, yet the movie has got tons of mass appeal. Stallone definitely knows how to tap into what people generally want to see. This time around, he plays a street-tough, big-city detective. To quote Stallone himself, if Dirty Harry had an illegitimate son with a death wish, he'd be Cobra. He gets the job nobody else wants. In this case, he's after a serial killer and his gang. Cobra has some exciting chase scenes, those off-the-wall Stallone one-liners, one of the best screen villains I've seen in a long time, but be aware, this is an extremely violent film. It's rated R, and I'll give it a 7. And guess what?
They're back.
Yes, Poltergeist 2 opens tomorrow. It's not as good as the first film. Part 2 seems disjointed and uneven, but the special effects are impressive, and the acting is average. Poltergeist is rated PG-13, and I'll give it a 6. So far this summer, my favorite film remains to be Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis, and I'm giving it a 9. Now, if you want something a little more sedate, try Alan Alda's Sweet Liberty. It's cute, and a film called A Room with a View. It's a pleasant, sophisticated comedy, and I hope you have a nice movie-watching weekend. I'm Dino Lawley. Last year, the city of Los Angeles issued over 5,000 permits to shoot on location. On any given day, at least 15 professional crews are capturing the City of Angels on film. For the new movie Cobra, starring Sylvester Stallone, director George Cosmatos wanted to give audiences a look at Los Angeles they've never seen before.
Action!
We're trying to make it as stylistic as possible, like the interior of the police station. You have a lot of glass, so we can shoot through it. And using reflection, weird angles, etc.
Once the right location is found, the director must use it to enhance the mood of the scene.
You can use your fantasy and your imagination, use the location to the best of your knowledge.
One of the key locations for Cobra was used in the climax of the film. It had to intensify the story, so the Hollywood Dream Factory went to a real factory, a steel foundry.
It's difficult because you not only have to work with two actors fighting, you also have to work with the environment, using the crane, using the fires, using the effects, and putting them all at the same time together.
Cobra is rated R. It is a violent and graphic film, and on my rating scale, I'm giving it a 6. This is the type of movie where it really doesn't matter what any critic says about it. There is an audience out there for this particular kind of movie, and it's currently playing in local theaters. For News 4 Nightcast, I'm Dino Lawley. I would like you to watch the following film clips. They are from two different movies. See if you can pick out the similarities. Isn't that interesting? Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger could change roles and no one would really know the difference. As for Stallone's picture Cobra, well, what can you say? Yeah, well, thanks for saying it all over me. Cobra goes down a number on my rating scale this week from a 5 to a 4, and I have a feeling in coming weeks it's going to go down even further. It's rated R, but it is doing well at the box office. As for Raw Deal, Schwarzenegger's latest movie, he plays a former FBI agent who assumes a second identity to infiltrate and destroy the Chicago mob from within.
No.
Well, Arnold, that's what the press notes say. I'm sorry, but I did not have the opportunity to preview Raw Deal before airtime tonight, so I really can't review it for you. It is rated R, and it does open tomorrow. Another film opening tomorrow is called Space Camp. It's a contemporary adventure about a group of youngsters who stay at this unusual space camp, turns into an unexpected shuttle voyage. The movie just doesn't seem to work. It tries much too hard to be cute. Plus, timing may affect how this movie does at the box office. The first thing you would think about when you see Space Camp is the disaster of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Space Camp is rated PG-13, and I'm only giving it a 6. I still think your best bets will be Top Gun, Short Circuit, and a film called The Gods Must Be Crazy. It is very funny. That's it for now, and I'll see you next Thursday night. For News 4 Nightcast, I'm Dino Lawley. Ferris Buellers Day Off is a contemporary comedy that examines the joys and advantages of being young. The film chronicles the events in the day of this unusual character, Ferris Bueller, played very well by Mathew Broderick. He devises a plan to cut school and take a whirlwind tour of downtown Chicago with his girl and best friend. Intermixed with this nearly flawless plan are some extremely funny moments and impressive performances. It's quite obvious that the cast and crew had a great time making this movie. Here Mathew Broderick wants to borrow the car which belongs to his best friend's dad.
Apparently, you don't understand. Wow. Ferris, he never drives it. He just rubs it with a diaper.
How much would you like, or maybe not like, someone like Ferris Bueller if you met them on the street or through a friend?
Well, I think I would enjoy somebody like Ferris Bueller. He's sort of the ultimate tour guide, you know, like that woman on the Love Boat. I mean, he'd take care of you, you know, he'd tell you what restaurant to go to and what to do. But I would not like to be out with him if I wanted to do something that he didn't want to do, because he's pretty pushy, I think.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is an unusual and original movie. The talented writer and director John Hughes tries a few unique ideas in presenting the movie, and they all work. On my rating scale, Ferris Bueller's Day Off rates a solid 8. For a fun time in the movie theater, I do recommend it. For News 4 Nightcast, I'm Dino Lawley.